The sound is not born from a throat. It is born from wooden breath and a spark of terrifying genius. Oku, a young male of the tribe, presses the heavy, carved horn to his lips. His people, the small, nimble-fingered Homo habilis of the Great Valley, are not strong. They are not some. They are not strong. They are not strong. They are not strong. They listen to the crested sinners, the great herds of Prehistory, whose booming calls echoed through the Jurassic rainforests. They watched how the deep, resonant moans from their hollow cranial crests could warn of danger or signal safety. Then, Na, the Old One, had the vision. He saw the sound not as a threat, but as a key, and so they began to carve. Oku blows a long, steady stream of air. The horn, one of their most sophisticated ancient tools, translates his breath into a perfect replica of the herd's all is well call. The sound rolls through the humid air, a deep, reassuring thrum. Below in the clearing, the response is immediate. The massive herbivores, a living wall of muscle and striped hide, relax their posture. One of them, a huge bull, answers with a resonant chord its own, the vibration felt more than heard, the fragile symbiosis that allows the clan to survive. The little apes with the clever hands watch from the trees, their sharp eyes spotting the skulking predators the herd might miss. In return, the herd's sheer size provides a sanctuary no pack of lesser dinosaurs dares to breach. It is a masterpiece of survival, in a world where hominid history is written in blood and bone. This life million years ago was a constant negotiation with death. Today the pact halts. The clan descends to forage for roots and fallen fruit under the protection of their giant, unwitting guardians. The children chase fat lizards in the herd's shadow, their laughter a sharp, alien sound in the deep green quiet. But Oku, on watch, feels a prickle of unease. He scans the opposite ridge, the place where the shadows lie deepest, and he sees it. A flicker of motion, but the patient, deliberate stillness of a hunter. It is one of the painted death, the Utahraptor. Larger, stronger, and unnervingly smarter than its smaller cousins. Its plumage is a mottled red and black, and its infamous sickle claw is held just off the ground, keen and sharp. But it is the creature's eyes that hold Oku's gaze. It is not looking at the herd with simple hunger. Its head is cocked, its gaze fixed on Oku himself. It is listening. Oku feels a cold dread snake down his spine. The raptor is not watching the Prehistory. It is watching the small, tall-wielding creature making the sound. As if to confirm his fear, the raptor opens its jaw and lets out a strange, guttural click, a grotesque and imperfect mimicry of the horn's call. It is a question, and Oku understands with chilling certainty that their greatest secret is no longer their own. Fear is a poison that seeps into the heart of the clan. The horn, once their symbol of defiance, now lies silent in Gina's hut, an object of suspicion. For a week, they return to the old ways, cowering in the high branches, surviving on grubs and bitter leaves. Below, the great herd of Prehistory is nervous without the clan's high-perched eyes, their calls more anxious. The delicate symbiosis is fraying. But it is the silence that is most terrifying. The Utahraptors are still out there, watching, waiting. They are not mindless beasts, they are strategists. This is not a hunt, it is a siege of the mind. It is Oku who breaks the paralysis. He takes the horn from Gina's hut and brings it to the old men. He does not make a sound, but an idea passes between them, a silent communication that is the true root of their species' potential. One horn is a monologue. To our conversation, they will not just make a sound, they will create a code. The plan is simple, yet it represents a monumental leap in cognitive strategy, a key moment in human evolution. Only a second horn, hidden with another watchman, sounding the reply. A falling 3-note call will confirm safety. A single call is now a warning. A duet is security. The clan practices for days, their makeshift horns sounding the complex new calls back and forth across the canopy until the duet becomes second nature. Hope, a fragile green shoot, pushes through the soil of their fear, the new system in place. Oku perched on a high cliff sounds the query, Across the grove, Gnaw, hidden in a dense fern thicket, sounds the reply. The all clear, the clan and herd settle, the familiar peace returning. But the painted death are patient students of this prehistoric life. Minutes later, a single perfect query call echoes from the jungle to the north. Every clan member freezes. It is not OKU. It is not Gnaw. It is them. Before panic can set in, a flawless reply sounds from the east. It is a pincer movement of pure sound. The Prehistory herd, confused by the overlapping signals, hesitates. It is the only moment the raptors need. They don't attack from the north or the east, where the calls originated. They explode from the west, a silent, deadly wave of mass-casualty. They had learned not just to mimic, but to deceive, to use the clan's own language to create a fatal misdirection. The slaughter is swift and brutal. The raptors isolate a young female Prehistory, dragging her down as the herd stampedes in blind terror. The clan can only watch in horror, their cleverness turned into a murder weapon. The liar's duet is complete, and the raptors are its masters. Despair is a quiet predator. The horns are laid in a row, inert pieces of wood, monuments to a failed strategy. The clan is isolated, trapped in the canopy, and the painted death are growing bolder. They hunt the edges of the clan's territory openly. Their calls a mocking echo of the clan's own invention. The Utahraptors have not just stolen their language, they have stolen their language. They have face a mask of wrinkled bark, who offers the final, terrible solution. He leads OKU to the edge of their territory, to a place the clan has always avoided, a wide, flat basin where the earth weeps a thick black oil. The tar pits, a place of bones, where careless creatures from time immemorial have come to drink and die. A loud lie, the old man rasps, his meaning clear without further words. They will not create a new code, they will create a cacophony. A final, irresistible broadcast that will be the raptors' undoing. This is the pinnacle of their primitive technology, not to build, but to deceive on an epic scale. The plan is an act of collective madness. The entire clan, every member capable of holding a horn, will gather on the cliffs overlooking the pits. At the center of the basin, on a small, stable patch of ground, OKU will stand as the living bait. They will unleash a symphony of deception, the combined calls of every horn mimicking the sounds of a panicked, trapped, and dying Prehistory herd. The moment arrives as the sun bleeds across the horizon. OKU takes his position, his heart a frantic drum against his ribs. He is the clan's altruism, the single life wagered against the packs. On the cliffs, Gnaw gives the signal. The air explodes with sound. It is a masterpiece of audio illusion. A dozen horns crying out in programmed chaos, a story of slaughter told only through breath and wood. It is the most tempting sound in this world. The dinner bell for every killer in the jungle. The painted death come. They flow from the trees, a silent, reed black tide, drawn by the promise of an easy feast. Their leader, a huge male with a scarred snout, fixes its gaze on OKU. It sees the lone, terrified hominid. It hears the dying herd. Intelligence, once its greatest weapon, now becomes its fatal flaw. He cannot conceive of a lie this grand. The lead raptor screeches a command, a call of triumph, and the pack charges. They cross the treacherous ground, their pouches focused only on the kill. The earth gives way. The first raptor sinks, its triumphant cry turning into a shriek of bewildered terror. The others, caught in their momentum, pile in behind it. The black tar, slow and unforgiving, pulls them down. The great hunters, the masters of deception, are consumed by a silent geological lie. Their struggle is brief, their screeches fading into gurgles as the ancient earth claims them. The clan watches in absolute silence. They have won. They have won. A footnote in hominid history. They gather their horns and walk away, leaving the instruments of their salvation in the dust. In the aftermath, a new kind of silence descends upon the great valley, a quiet born not of fear, but of profound caution. The horns are never sounded again. They become relics, objects of a dangerous power too great to wield, a language that had to be unlearned. The clan survives, but they are changed. They move now with a ghostly stealth, their communication reduced to hand signals and whispers, their eyes forever scanning the trees not for threats, but for listeners. Their great evolutionary experiment with sound is over, a brilliant, explosive chapter that ended in a necessary retreat into muteness. They have learned the most brutal lesson of intelligence, that every new weapon inspires a new defense, and that the greatest innovations can become the most effective traps. This is the hidden rhythm of our ascent, not a straight line of progress, but a chaotic dance of trial and catastrophic error. What is the true legacy of a forgotten language? It is the wisdom it impels. They learned of abstract thought, of complex deception, and of the terrifying intellect that stared back at them from across the primordial battlefield. Their silence was not an ending. It was a gestation. It was a ground in which a new form of communication, one far more complex and exclusive, could begin to grow. For in a world full of monsters who could learn to speak your tongue, the only path forward was to invent a language that only you could understand. For the deadliest secrets are not the ones you tell. They are the ones you keep. But on the frozen plains of the north, a different kind of fire is being mastered.